Hello friends, Kenji back for another draft. This is a specialty draft that they've tried out the last week or two. It's called a Supreme Draft. Now, this is a draft where, first of all, you'll notice that you once again get 2 picks and you have a lot of time to choose. Now, I'm not actually drafting with anybody. So how Supreme Draft work is, the quick overview is this one is of Modern Horizons specifically, but you get to make 2 choices out of every pack, but you get a first pack every single time. So that is to say, after I take my 2 cards from this initial pack, I'm gonna get another full pack, and I get to choose 2 cards from it. So you actually only get to draft from 18 boosters. You end up with 36 cards, and you build a deck with that. So it's really strange. I wouldn't consider it like true Magic drafting at all. There's no signals or anything like that. You just take the 2 best cards basically out of every opening pack. Which you'll see here in a second what I mean exactly. But it's kind of strange, it's kind of neat. Last week they had Ravnica, all of the Ravnica sets thrown together. This one is specifically Modern Horizons, which is a little bit wonky for sure. I think the best decks in this format are going to be the Ninja deck and the Snow deck. And that is kind of just exacerbated by the fact that, well, you get to take 2 cards every time and you get a fresh pack every time. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and take the Mist Syndicate Naga here and probably the Throat Seeker. I don't know if you all remember this format, but ninjas I think were probably top tier anyways. And I mean, these are 2 pretty good ones. Mist Syndicate Naga much better than anything else. And then even though Throat Seeker is not like super amazing or anything, getting that lifelink can swing races. But you'll notice that I take a lot of like 1 and 2 drop creatures that have evasion of some variety, and a lot of these ninjutsu cards. And so here now, as we get our next pack, you can see that it's again another 15 card pack, and similarly to the previous pack, I'm going to take 2 cards. This pack is actually pretty weak for ninjas. We do have like an Arkham's Astrolabe, which was obviously great for the Snow deck. Force of Despair I've never been all that much of a fan of. I don't think it's actually that powerful in this particular format. It's okay, don't get me wrong, but there are better cards. So here I think because Ninjas is actually tier 1, the best deck in the format, I'm going to go ahead and take Unearth here. We already have 2 good 3 drops, and I'm going to want to pick some more early creatures anyways. And then the secondary pick is between one of these blue or black cards. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Force of Despair, but there's a very large chance that I don't play it. If I wanted to stay open instead of forcing the best deck, I think the Astrolabe and maybe the Frostwalla are okay pickups. But I think Ninjas is by far and away the best deck in this format. And so, given the fact that there are no signals to read, right, you just kind of have to get lucky with what you open, this is the best deck to play. But that being said, like I said, it's not a true draft format, and a lot of people probably won't like this type of thing. But yeah, you'll see how the decks end up at the very end. We're going to take the Moonblade Shinobi here, another really good ninjutsu ninja, and probably the Baron Moore. Always nice to have on-color cycling lands. Right now we're looking for the cheap 1-drops and 2-drops to really enable this deck. Ooh, and here we go. Fairy Seer is one of the best, if not the best. There are 2 1-drops in the Ninjas deck that you really want, Fairy Seer being one of them. Super powerful. It's a 1/1 flyer that scries 2 when it enters the battlefield. So not only is it evasive, which means you're more likely to ninjutsu something in with it, but when you recast it, you also get that scry 2, which can set up your draws after the fact. The other good 1-drop being the Changeling Outcast, which is the black 1/1 unblockable that cannot block but cannot be blocked. So another really good one. So yeah, we're going to take Fairy Seer here for sure. And then the question is, do I want Prismatic Vista or Moonblade Shinobi number 2? And I think this is going to be an easy Moonblade Shinobi number 2. This is one of the key ninjas that you really, really want. It just enables so much. The fact that it makes a 1/1 flyer when it connects means, again, you can enable easy Shinobi ninjutsu nonsense. Moving on to the next pack, we're on booster 5 out of 18, and we have another good ninja here. This one is especially great because it's 2 mana to ninjutsu, and the fact that you can make one of your unblocked creatures into a creature that gives your blocked creature indestructible is very, very powerful. So easy Smoke Shaper here as our first pick. And then the secondary pick is not so good. I'm going to go ahead and take the Rank Officer. It's fine, especially if you can get Gluttonous Slugs. But there are better cards for sure. Other good card in the pack: Battle Screech, Pyrophobia, Sinkhole, yada yada. Doesn't really matter. Ninjas is the way to go. And here we have a double Mana War pack. That's insane. Mana War, another one of the best best cards at enabling the ninjas, and it's just a super good tempo card anyways. Like the ninjas deck, because you're going to play so many 1-drops and 2-drops, if you can just curve into Mana War, keep the opponent on the back foot, and keep connecting with your ninjas that have abilities when they connect, it's just way too good. So these are like one of the few 3-drops that I'm happy to take a ton of. Another Fairy Seer here is excellent, in addition to the Lonely Sandbar. And already I'm considering cutting the Throat Seeker because I have so many 3s, as you'll notice. But yeah, Fairy Seer, easy pickup. Diabolic Edict, not too powerful in this format. It's fine, but I think Lonely Sandbar is the best choice there. Okay, now we have Smoke Shroud, Eye Kite, String of Disappearances. Big fan of Smoke Shroud, especially in this deck with double Shinobi already, and the Mist Syndicate. The nice thing is, remember, you can put this on a creature, and then if you ninjutsu in a creature, bouncing the creature that Smoke Shroud is attached to, you can equip the Smoke Shroud to another creature instead, if it's a ninja, that is to say. So easy Smoke Shroud for here, my first. And then I think I'm going to go with the String of Disappearances over the Eye Kite. The Eye Kite is a good enabler for ninjutsu, but there are better ones. I'd rather have the Fairy Seers, I'd rather have the Changeling Outcasts, I'd rather have the Slugs. And String does a really good job at keeping your opponents off of creatures, especially when you have Mana War. Remember, you can String of Disappearances your own Mana War, then pay 2 blue to bounce another one of your opponent's creatures, so extra value there. We're going to take Defile, and not really anything good secondarily for us. Yeah, kind of a mulligan of a pick. You'll notice I'm actually not running too many black cards right now. I guess I could stay open to the idea of like some kind of red-blue deck, but I do think Ninjas is the best deck in the format. But because there's nothing else good here for me, I think I'm going to take the Lava Dart. Okay, another Moonblade Shinobi. But again, nothing really else good. This is pack 10 of 18, so we're only a little bit over halfway through. So our deck's looking really good as it stands, but I need more 1 and 2 drops that can get in no problem. Let's take another Shinobi here. And then I might actually just take the Snowland to kind of stay open. Or maybe the Rain of Revelation. The card is okay, don't get me wrong, but with the Ninjas deck, you're not really often going to have time to cast something like the Rain. Okay, another Smoke Shaper. There's a Deep Forest Hermit, though. And a Scale Up. Yeah, I mean, I could just take like the Deep Forest Hermit and the Scale Up and see if we want to go this route instead. Kind of interesting, kind of unique. That's the only issue with forcing in this format. Because there are no signals, because nobody's passing to you, and there are no draft lanes to move into, you kind of just have to get lucky with what you open. Right? That being said, it might be still correct just to keep forcing the ninjas. Like, we still have 7 more packs to go. You know, I can make work with what we have, and the payoff of having the black cards, if I open them, is just too high. So I'll take the Smoke Shaper and then the Hermit and see what happens. Yeah, and here we have a nice little mob pickup. And Cabal Therapist is okay. A 1/1 Menace does block pretty, or rather attack pretty well early, but I think we're just going to take a secondary Smoke Shroud here. Still looking for those Gluttonous Slugs and those Outcast Changelings. Oh, but we got the Slug and a Putrid Goblin here, so great, great pickup. Yeah, let's take the Slug, let's take the Goblin. And now our deck's looking really, really solid. Another Smoke Shaper here and another Mana War. I think this time, instead of this third Smoke Shaper, though, I might go with the second Defile. Definitely going to take the Eye Kite. Or sorry, definitely going to take the Mana War here. That's our third one. And yeah, I think I'm going to take a little bit of removal, and let's take the Defile. Looking for those 1-drops still, which, wow, we opened one of the best rares, but not going to take it. Let's cut all of these, I think. Choking Tethers and String are fine. Crypt Rats is decent, but there's another Mana War here. The problem with Crypt Rats is that you end up killing a lot of your own creatures in the Ninja deck, so Not sure that's necessarily what we want here, but it's still powerful enough to take. 4th Mana War, by the way. Okay, and now we got ourselves an Endling and a Gluttonous Slug. And this is our second to last pack, so I think we're in a really good spot. Last pack, we get a 3rd Slug, which we will certainly play, I'm pretty sure. And then another Smoke Shroud or another Choking Tethers. I don't need 3 Smoke Shrouds. I might not even run 2, so let's just take another Choking Tethers just in case. And there you go. There is Supreme Draft. Again, it's not like a normal draft by any means, and I'm sure a lot of people won't like it as much, but it's pretty fun to try it at least once, I would say. And yeah, you can see our deck kind of looks like a weird block constructed deck more than it does a draft deck. And that's true of the majority of decks in this format, right? It's because people are doing the same thing as you, because everybody gets 2 first picks and then they get a new pack with no signaling. You end up with this style of deck here where it looks way too streamlined. So even though this is very good, you know, other decks are going to be of similar power levels. The biggest issue I foresee with this deck is that I only have 2 1-drops to enable my Shinobi, my ninjutsus. I didn't see any Changeling Outcasts, so that's kind of bad. Anyways, with that being said, let's cut a String of Disappearances, and in fact, I might just cut both String of Disappearances because I have 4 Mana War, and go 17 land since we have 2 cycling land. I could also go 16 land and run like a Choking Tethers, but I think this is fine here. Yeah, let's go a little bit heavier blue. Actually, let's see. I mean, the double Defile wants more black, but with double Fairy Seer, we actually want more blue because we want to be able to ninjutsu something in and then cast Fairy Seer again post-combat. So let's try this. Let's go to round 1. Okay, here we are for round 1 of this Modern Horizons Modern Horizons Supreme Draft. We are on the draw, and we have none of our 1 or 2 drops to enable Shinobi, or rather ninjutsus, so kind of hesitant to keep this hand. We really need a 1 or a 2 drop. Let's go ahead and mulligan. And yeah, I mean, this hand is fine. It doesn't have any of those relevant creatures that I need, but it has a cheap removal spell and a 2-drop in addition to Smoke Shroud to help get in for damage, so I think it's good enough to keep, even though it's not what we're really looking for. Okay, the opponent's on blue-green, so they're probably playing the Snow deck, would be my guess. Again, I think the 2 best decks in this format are the Ninja deck and the Snow deck, so it's not surprising at all to see the opponent on blue-green, as that is the base colors for majority of the Snow cards. And yeah, you can see a snow-covered forest there from them. As we're going to go ahead and just Smoke Shroud up our Putrid Goblin. I don't think, like, if I attack with the Goblin, they're just going to block with the wall, and I don't really want to defile it, so might as well get in here. And remember, when I ninjutsu next turn, should I be able to, the Shinobi's going to get equipped with the Smoke Shroud, so good value here for us. I'm not sure what kind of hand our opponent kept. They might have like a Rain of Revelation or something. Ice Fang Quaddle. Okay. That doesn't have Death Touch, so we're going to go ahead and let that block if they want. Yeah, I'm not sure if the opponent knew that had Death Touch or not. Remember, the Quaddle is insane, but it doesn't have Death Touch unless you have 3 other snow permanents, so I am not upset by just making that play. And so now we're going to get to attack with the Goblin, presumably get to ninjutsu here. Hit in for 4 damage, because it's going to be equipped with a Smoke Shroud from the graveyard, and then play out the Goblin again, second main phase. What is this? Twisted Reflection. Sure. So that just gives it -6, -0. It doesn't actually kill it unless you have black mana, so that doesn't really matter for us. I guess they're probably going to play like Marasa Behemoths or something? No. Wow. 5 cards in their hand with 6 mana. I am extremely confused. I'm guessing that... I mean, maybe they were just flooded out. I have no idea. In any case, that was not a good representation of the format. Both players are normally doing things that are extremely broken or rather extremely consistent, so that seems just like bad luck from the opponent. And wow, look at this opening hand. 1-drop Fairy Seer, 2-drop Slug, Mana War, and Smoke Shroud. We just need to find like any of our ninjas, which the Scry is going to help us do. And yeah, we're going to be looking really, really solid. I mean, those are both cards that are good. Okay, I'm super confused here. I guess the opponent just didn't want to play. I mean, that that wasn't really not much to say there. I think yeah. Let's just go on to the next round. Okay, we are here for the second round after a non-existent round 1 in essence. I'm on the draw here with, man, a really close hand. Any blue source here, and we are just looking so good. I'm going to keep this. I might even cycle Baron Moore turn 1. Just because if I draw a blue source in the first 2, maybe even 3 turns, like we basically win the game. As our opponent plays Crashing Footfalls. One of the better cards, well, probably the best card that you can have on turn 1, but with double Mana War in my hand, if I just find a blue source, we're going to be okay, so... Here's to crossing our fingers, ladies and gentlemen. Cycle. Okay, Swamp's fine. Island? Yes! And now we get to do some really good stuff here. Ooh, yeah. Let's top both. We're going to draw the Mist Syndicate next turn. Make 2 3/1s next turn. Assuming my opponent doesn't have a removal spell here. If they just pass, it might be better for me to not actually ninjutsu in anything, and instead just play out the Putrid Goblin. Although I guess with only 1 swamp, I can probably flash in the Shinobi, no problem. I don't want to play the Mist Syndicate Naga, though, because if they have a Defile, they can just kill it. So this is getting good value, and I still make a flyer that I can ninjutsu off of. Next turn, we're drawing the Smoke Shroud, so I can Smoke Shroud on the Shinobi, get in for 4, make another 1/1. We have a lot of good plays. They do get 2 4/4 Tramplers next turn, but they don't have haste. And that's fine, we don't really care if they bounce the token, that's irrelevant. I'm almost wondering if it's better to Defile here and play out Putrid Goblin or something. But I think this is just such a pretty hard combination to answer that we just fire this off right away. Alright, they go ahead and get 2 4/4s. But, I mean, like, look at our hand. It just looks like a budget constructed deck, you know? I'm probably going to Defile the Mana War end of turn just to use my mana efficiently, since if I don't draw a land next turn, like, we want to be slamming the Mana War to bounce a Rhino. This is the turn that the opponent's going to want to use a removal spell if they have one. Okay, Twisted Reflection. That's fine. We don't really care if they kill that. And let's go ahead and Defile that right now. Scour all possibilities, sure. Alright. Best draw is an island. Shinobi. I mean, I could just try to race them. They double bottomed with the Scour. Yeah, if I just miss Syndicate Naga, I guess I'm in a position where it's okay to try to race. The safe play is to Mana War here, but the Naga's going to get the Smoke Shroud. I'm going to get another Naga. Like, because we already have them down to 9, this pressure might be too much. Yeah, alright, I'm going to take 8. Oh, a Hex Drinker! Oh my gosh. That's one of the most busted cards. Looks like they're just going all in on it, though, which means... Well, I can just Mana War... I guess they have to invest 3 more mana to give that protection from everything, right? Yeah, it's probably still better to bounce one of the Rhino tokens here, I would think. No, because then I also get in with the other Mist Syndicate. Never mind, let's do that. Get 2 more 3/1s. Play the Fairy, scry 2. Yeah, we can top the second Fairy because we have nothing but 3 drops or less in our hand. Cycle Lonely Sandbar, and yeah, I mean, unless they have a Dead of Winter here, this is just going to be game over. But yeah. So if you're thinking about playing Supreme Draft, just know that everything is going to be very, very high power. And I would say that this is a format where it's actively okay to force. That is to say, force a deck. So if you know any of the decks in Modern Horizons, I think, like I said before, the best decks are Ninjas, Blue-Black Ninjas, like I am, Snow, which is base blue-green, but can go anywhere up to 5 colors because of the Astrolabes, really, and like Springbloom Druids. And then, to a lesser extent, you have like Goblins, Slivers, various other aggro decks, but in this format, especially, it's better just to go with the cohesive strategies. Anyways, opponents on blue-green, maybe black stuff. I don't really think I need to sideboard. Our deck is so streamlined, so good. Let's just run it back and try to get a similar hand here. Yeah, this is great. Turn 1 Fairy Seer. Any turn 1 Fairy Seer in this deck, I don't think you can mulligan. It's just it's our best play. Also, I mean, our hand's great otherwise, but triple Mana War now, lol. We're going to bottom the Defile here. That's crazy to think about, but with 3 Mana Wars in my hand, I don't think I need Defile. Nice start from the opponent, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and flash in the Smoke Shaper here. Just get the 3/3 online ASAP. And basically every turn from here on out, we're just going to slam Mana Wars. Oh, look who's back. Hopefully they just invest 2 more mana into that. Like, Mana War is surprisingly a great way to deal with a Hex Drinker. Oh my god. Why not just draw the 4th? Why not? How many in your deck? 4? Oh. Yeah, let's draw them all. That's hilarious. In theory, I could have even let them invest more mana into it, but we need to find an island here so that I can play Fairy Seer plus Mana War on a next turn or something. This is pretty damn gross, though, let me tell you. Okay, 5 cards in hand, 1 Hex Drinker. I mean, that's the thing. Like, they don't want to just play Hex Drinker here, invest a bunch of mana into it, and then it gets killed, it gets bounced. Like, yeah, they can give it pro instance immediately, but this has to feel so bad for them. Oh, and we even drew the island, chat. Wow, okay, I called you chat. You guys are viewing the experience through YouTube. Fairy Seer, let's bottom 2 lands, no problem. Hopefully they just make another 4/4 Hex Drinker. At some point you have to be like, alright, well, they've played 2 Mana War, they can't have a 3rd. If I give my Hex Drinker protection from instance, what's the likelihood they can do anything to it? The answer is, though, a lot. I can do a lot to it. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like they might do something other than Hex Drinker. They might just make 2 bears with the Mother Bear. That would not be bad. Trumpeting Herd and the Hex Drinker. Okay. Oh man, another really, really good draw here. I mean, I think we just mana war the token again. And bash in for 6. Like, we don't really care if they trade with our mana war, and if they don't, then they're going down to 5. Sure. I almost feel bad for this beating, but not really. I think this is the thing that you sign up for Supreme Draft. This might be the fastest draft I ever do. Looking at the time right now, we spent like 12 minutes on the drafting portion and deck building. We might have a very, very quick video here, but it's looking good. Well, there you go. Hex Drinker level up. All the way? Oh, leaving 2 mana open for something. Another pretty good draw here. So, I mean, I think we just play the 4th Mana War. And I'm just going to bounce the Elephant because it permanently deals with it. Currently I have them dead on board. I'll make them use something here if they have it, but I mean, we're still going to kill them with Smoke Shroud and Miss Syndicate Naga the following turn anyway, so it's not a huge deal. Even if they have something to stabilize here. Yeah, sure. Quaddle. Absolutely fine. So they can eat my 3/3, they can trade with the 2/2. Oh, or they can block the fairy and take 2. I'd rather take 4. This is all completely fine. Like, as it stands on the board, they need to produce 2 creatures, which they can do with Mother Bear, but then we just get them with the Smoke Shroud. Sure. Oh, Deep Forest Tournament. All right. Opponent's got some nice rares, but, I mean, sometimes you smoke them. And there you go. A very, very fast 2-0. Let's go to round 3. Okay, here we are for the finals of this Modern Horizons Supreme Draft after a very quick 2-0-4-0 start. We are on the draw here, and like I mentioned earlier, a turn 1 Fairy Seer I cannot mulligan, although this hand obviously would love to have a swamp over one of these islands, but and then we draw a double black card. Hopefully Fairy Seer can find some for us, as we very quickly bottom both of those cards. The nice thing is, except for Smoke Shaper, all of my ninjutsu are blue, so it's not a huge deal. Wow! Okay, that was 6 of our islands in the top, like, 10 cards. We might be okay, though. With Mana War, we can buy some time. Green-white. Okay, so it looks like the opponent is definitely on some sort of snow deck, which is not to be surprising. Yeah. Ugh. Bad news is the Spring Bloom Druid is definitely not one that we want to bounce. And unfortunately for us, we drew our 1 black ninjutsu as opposed to one of our myriad blue ninjutsus. Abominable Tree Folk, that's fine. Yeah, all we need to do is find a black source and we'll be cooking. Cycle the Sandbar. I'm going to go ahead and bounce the Tree Folk, though. Obviously, it has a pretty good enter the battlefield ability, but we really don't want to take that big beating. Though, if I don't find a swamp next turn, we're probably going to have a very large problem. Wow, tapping the Mana War is so aggressive. They should assume that I'm playing ninjas. Unfortunately, I cannot punish them. Alright, well, let's just attack for 1 in the air then, since I'm not blocking. And it's okay to Smoke Shroud here, because the only thing that punished me is a Winter's Rest, but I'm going to attack with the Mana War next turn, and if we can... Wow, a double Tree Folk, okay. This might have been very hard to beat, even if we had drawn a black source, no joke. Oh no! Way too late to the party. All right, let's go to a game 2. This might be a game where Force of Despair or a String of Disappearances or even Choking Tethers is worth it, but honestly, this deck can just race that type of thing. Like, I have 4 Mana War, I just need to draw my mana better. So, let's be on the play here for game 2. Oh, this is a keep. Again, unfortunately, I have no ninjutsu, but Double Slug is too good to mulligan. We just need to find something to turn those bad boys on. Slugs are so good in this format. Now, maybe they're less good in Supreme Draft, where everybody has crazy good decks, but I think this is a fine hand to keep. Oh yeah, like Double Slug with Mana War is A+ style, I think. Yeah, Saddled Rhymestag is fine. I'm going to go with the developmental play of just playing out Slug number 2 this turn instead of playing the Mana War. Because we really want to go like Mana War, make our slugs. Oh, even better. That's like the perfect draw. We get to make our slugs into 1/4s here, and then we get to evolve them with the Mana War and make them 2/5s. Also, the opponent's missing lands, so this game's going to be very, very over. I would imagine they scoop next turn to my Endling. Even if they have their Springbloom Druid here, it's much too late. Like, I play Endling, I can attack them for 3, 6, 9. What are they going to do? Dead of Winter? That doesn't even kill the Double Gluttonous Slug now. Or the Endling, for that matter. What a gosh darn game. Yeah, this is disgusting. I'm going to block here. No reason for me not to. I mean, the Endling can gain Undying, so. Alright, chat, this might... Oh god, I keep saying chat. I'm so used to saying chat. Friends, viewers, YouTubers, we are just over a 30-minute video right now. This is going to be real fast. Come on, game 3. Let's see if we can get a trophy here, because our deck is great. We know the opponent's deck is pretty darn good, too. Oh no, our hand is really weak, though. Really weak. Yeah, no 1-drop, no 2-drop. I'm going to have a cycling land, but we got to go down to 6 here. Okay, that's better. This is definitely a keep. The question is, what card am I losing? I think because we're on the draw, I'm going to lose a land here and play it a little bit greedy. Because even if I miss a land in the first couple draw steps, I can go slug slug. I don't need to go slug Mana War. Okay, Astrolabe. Did find the land, so that's good. I mean, the odds are I'm still going to go slug slug just to grow my slugs as quickly as possible. Okay, Shinobi's pretty good. Remember, slugs have menace, so they're that's one of the reasons why they're so good in the ninja deck, because when you play them on turn 2, they still just get in, right? Because even if the opponent has 1 creature, you can get in unhindered. Although, if they play Abominable Tree Folk next turn, I suppose we could have an issue. But I'm going to go ahead and Shinobi in here. And go for the gold. Alright, don't Tree Folk me. Their Tree Folk is a 1... How big is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Oh, it's huge. Nice, they just played Talisman and passed. Alright, so that's a really good opportunity for us. So, let's... We don't need the... Well, actually, I guess I kind of do. I could just go super aggro here and Smoke Shroud the Shinobi and try to kill him as quickly as I can in the air. I could also Mana War their Rhyme Stag and bash in with both. And then play the land and go Slug Smoke Shroud next turn. That might be better. Let's do that. Let's bounce the Stag. Let's play the Stand Bar. Get in for 4, make another 1/1 flyer. And the next turn we can go Slug plus Smoke Shroud on the Shinobi. The Shinobi's going to make another 1/1, and that's going to trigger the Slug. We need to kill them before they get their more powerful cards online. Oh, there it is. Nice. We got them, though. So they tap down a flyer here because, well, they're not worried about this getting through all of their creatures now. But joke's on them. We have the Smoke Shroud to force it through. So now we still get to get in for 5 damage in the air, make a 1/1 flyer, and level up our Slug. It's going to be very hard for them to attack now, if they don't have a better follow-up play. Yeah, 8 damage. I think we have lethal, though, on the board. Let's play second Slug out, and we just get to attack with everything here. They're dead on board if they don't have anything, so they might have messed up, because this has Menace. Alright, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if that's the quickest 3-0 I've ever had, but man, 36 minutes for the draft and a 3-0 is kind of freaking crazy. And like I said, this is not like a normal draft of Magic the Gathering at all. This is called Supreme Draft. All the decks are going to be kind of crazy broken. I think this is probably a format where forcing is correct. Modern Horizons, that is to say. In other Supreme Draft formats, maybe not. But as you can see, my deck is just super consistent. Like, I have 3 of this card, 4 of that card, 3 of this card, 2, 2, 2. Like, it's just kind of busted, but that was great. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that anyways. And yeah, look out for all of my other content here on the Card Kingdom YouTube channel. And as always, you can catch me at twitch.tv/NumotTheNummy. Thanks for watching.